I'm giving you back control this week, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you each card first, see the card that resonates the most with you, and that is your card for the week, and they're not in any particular order. So this is one card, this is one card, and this is one card. They're not in any particular order, but take a look at all three, and the card that you're resonating with the most is your card for the week, but still also keep in mind the 1, 2, 3 energy. So this is for July 3rd to July 10th. This is numerologist.com, and I am Vannessa from Beyond Your Sun Sign. All right, if you were drawn to this card, the Strength card, this is actually card number 1 for this week. And this card is saying, really take into account this week how much strength you have, where your strength lies, right? Like, the best way to find out where your strength lies is to find the areas where you feel weak, where it's like, okay, I'm a Libra, so I feel really weak with decision making. Actually, that's your strength, to balance the pros and the cons and then make a decision. So I use astrology for everything. You can absolutely use astrology as well. If you don't know what your strength or weaknesses are based on your zodiac sign, drop it in the comments and I'm happy to reply back and let you know. But this week, it's about seeing where your strengths are and then using it to your advantage, right? Because I think a lot of times it's that old thing that they say that we're analyzing the fish for not being able to climb a tree, where it's like, duh, and you're analyzing the monkey for not being able to swim. You know what I mean? So this week, it's about seeing, okay, these are my strengths. Why am I only focusing on my weaknesses? You know what I mean? Like, I have so many clients that are struggling. It's like, well, maybe that's not what you're supposed to be doing. I'm struggling staying faithful. Maybe you're not supposed to be in a monogamous relationship. I'm struggling connecting with my kids. Maybe you need to, wait until they're a little bit older and you'll connect with them as teenagers and you're not great with babies right now. Like, we try so hard to fit and conform into what society wants us to do. This is the age of Aquarius. Hell no. Like, you can see online that somebody's strength that you've seen as a weakness has a whole community, has a whole support system. I used to be made fun of for being into astrology. And as soon as I came online, I'm like, hold on a second. There's a whole culture surrounding this. So there are huge strengths to be had, but right now you're basically valuing yourself on what other people perceive as a strength and what other people perceive as a weakness. It's your greatest asset. Sensitivity in a hard world is a strength, not a weakness, right? So this week, focusing on what your strengths are and then really harboring that energy and really harnessing it to your full advantage and recognizing that that is your muscle. That is something that you need to keep working out in order to create more and more abundance of strength. But first, need to find out if it's leg day, because you need to put energy on, the weak spots in your body and in your energetic body. Now this week, it's just about putting that energy towards it and finding your truest strengths. So let me know in the comments what your sun sign is, and if you know your moon sign, and then what do you feel your strengths and weaknesses are, and that can help other people who have the same sun or moon as you. All right, if you were drawn to this card, the 7 of Wands, this is card number 2 for this week, July 3rd to July 10th. 7 of Wands, as you can see, this person is really fighting for their foundation. But when I look at this card, one thing I notice more than anything is that they're wearing heels. So here they are, they're in the middle of clearly a desert. They're dressed in all black. Can you imagine how hot that must be? Minus their skirt. They're wearing tights and a turtleneck, long sleeve, in the middle of the desert, and also wearing platform shoes, like heels. So they're not equipped, but here they are with the audacity to fight these wands, to feel like they're fighting this energy, wands' energy, but they're not dressed for it, they're not equipped for it at all. So what's the point? You don't have the fundamental security in order to fight for what you want, fight for the energy that you want to put out there. You don't have the fundamentals. So it's time to reassess. All right, I'm dressed for the winter, I'm living in a desert, but my fundamentals, it's kind of like when you learn how to drive. You learn how to drive, I'm Canadian, I learned how to drive in the winter. You know what I mean? So in the summertime, it's really easy to drive. And in the wintertime, that's when I'm like, okay, this is what I was trained for. So going back to what you were trained for is not necessarily what's the best path for you. It's easier for me to drive in the summertime, obviously, even though I was trained to drive in the wintertime. So your foundation is not in alignment with where you're at right now. And that's where it's time to be like, all right, I'm a winter girl, you know, living in warm climates. That's why I'm constantly sweating and hot and uncomfortable and sticky. Sometimes it's very, very simple to pull it back to that. So go back to your foundation. What were your parents like? Using astrology again, what was their sign? Does it align with who you are? If you were raised by Scorpios, but you're Taurus, yeah, you guys are going to be completely opposite, right? So are you fighting for the foundation of depth and, you know, inheritance and like transformation, when really your Taurus energy just needs basic security, just needs to feel, you know, financially secure and abundantly secure with their emotions as well? What are you fighting for? So this is your week to really address that, especially it being 7 universal year, which is all about inner investigation. Okay. If you were drawn to this card, this is the Hanged one. This is the Hanged Man in Tarot in the Rider-Waite deck, and it's all about sacrifice. But as you can see, this person is perfectly happy with sacrificing. They're upside down. It reminds me of that. There's like an elliptical type thing where you can literally move your body upside down, and that release on your lower back when you finally flip over, it feels so good in a way that you can't really. It's like that, it's an itch you can't really scratch. So for you, when it comes to sacrificing, it feels really good. You feel good being compassionate because it is part of human nature to give. That's why it feels so good to give. But when you give without expecting anything in return, that's when it really feels good. When I was on that elliptical and I turned upside down, I expected the blood rush. I did not expect the release on my lower back because I didn't know I was holding that in my lower back until I was suspended upside down and really having to let go of any control, right? Even the control of what I expect what would happen if I'm turned upside down. So this week, it's all about acknowledging that it feels good to release. It feels good to be completely turned upside down for you because it shows you areas where you had more tension than you thought you did. And there was one card that popped out over top face down, something that you're not acknowledging, and it's the Justice card. The Justice card is karma. So yes, it's going to feel really good to release, to sacrifice, to turn yourself upside down, completely swept off your feet. It's going to feel good, but it's going to feel even better because it's karma. So karma is really forcing you upside down this week to release, to be in a flow of letting go, not walking your path, literally feet to the ceiling, not walking your path at all, and being in that state of suspension and releasing until it's time to be reborn. And then basically you can turn yourself right back up. But right now, it's karma this week, making you feel like you got to sacrifice. All right, as always mentioned, reach out to me. I swear I'm very friendly. You're not a stranger. We've been connecting. You can find me on Instagram at beyondyoursunsign, or you can message me directly through email, beyondyoursunsign@gmail.com. Hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you next week. Bye.